What's going on, guys? Mirror Crunch here, and today I'm going to be doing another tier list video. And yeah, it's your usual tier list video, but it's not just any tier list. It's going to be another Dragon Ball tier list. I've done tier list videos in the past. I've done hairline, I've done forms, and I've done women. I know, but this one is going to be the grand ultimate tier list. Why? Because this is the ultimate Dragon Ball tier list where I'm going to be ranking every single character that is possibly there. There's some characters that I might have missed, or it's not there. There's probably some characters that I don't recognize, such as mainly from GT or OG Dragon Ball, and maybe some other characters that I might not recognize on, you know, whatever's in the show. But anyways, this is the ultimate tier list of how I personally feel where these characters rank. Some of them might be controversial, some of them you might agree on. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Starting off, we have Android 8, I believe, and he comes from OG Dragon Ball. I'm pretty sure we first introduced him, and I would say he's a C tier. This is Arail, and this is one of Akira Toriyama's other characters. Dr. Slump, I believe, is one of his other franchises or whatever. But again, she makes an appearance in Dragon Ball. She's a gag character. I mean, have you seen that she's like apparently strong as Goku and Vegeta? But regardless, character herself, I will give it a, you know, a B tier. No, maybe an A tier. It's kind of like a I don't know how you say it, like a symbol of Akira, or like a homage to Akira's other work. Whenever, you know, he wants to sneak it in there every now and then, and you know, it's nice to see that. So I'll just add it in A tier. Maybe I might change it to B tier. It's up there, but it's a good character. It's a funny character as well. Baba, I would say she did help revive Goku in Dragon Ball. In the Majin Buu arc, she did help, you know, arrange him being there for the day and stuff like that. She's an OG. She helps, but I would give her character overall, I would say the same thing as C tier. I'll give the same to C tier. Otherwise, I don't know. Next up is Bardock. Bardock, I gotta give it an S tier, man. Pretty much started everything. Not really, but like started. He's one who made Goku. You know, he made Goku, and he has so many like so many OG origin stories and stuff like that. But Bardock, nothing else to say. He's a pretty cool character. I'd love to see him more. Well, I think we already seen enough of him, but we'll see. The dog from Majin Buu, the Majin Buu arc. He died. I don't know why he's in that category, but you know, I'll put him in E tier. There's nothing else. I mean, he did create, you know, actually he did made the evil version of Majin Buu, not just like Kid Buu or whatever. But yeah, he created Fat Buu, and then he made Kid Buu, essentially, or Evil Buu, whatever. Next up is Beerus. Okay, finally a major character that is in the Dragon Ball series. I mean, there's a couple characters like Bardock, and I think Bardock, that's it. Yeah, Beerus, he's a pretty cool character. I would say he's an A tier. Character. I wouldn't say S tier. That's like a complete character. There is some characters that are complete, but they're like not up there. I'll talk about one of them, but Bio Broly. I guess we're including movie characters as well. So is this a potential F tier? I mean, there was something there they try to do with Bio Broly, but again, they didn't have to make another Broly movie after like what, the third Broly movie they had to do. There's like Broly's Return, and then Bio Broly. I would say F tier. I think this is going to be our first official F tier. So next up is Goku Black. I would say Goku Black's origin. I'm trying to remember how his origin started. I'm pretty sure ever since Goku fought Zamasu, pretty much everything's, you know, developed from there on, where Zamasu does not want to fight, doesn't want to be challenged a mortal like that again. So he decided, you know, take advantage of the strongest mortal that he finds, and then just ruin the universe even more in Trunks' timeline. I don't know. I forgot how it worked. It's been a minute since I watched Dragon Ball Super, so as far as I remember, he's one of the cool characters. I'll say E tier. He's a pretty cool villain. He's like a villain that actually he's one of the first villains that actually accomplished his goal. I'm pretty sure. Like, he wanted to take over the universe, and he pretty much did, because Zeno pretty much erased the universe that he took over, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So we're gonna move on to Broly. Is this Super Broly, or is just Broly overall? If it's Super Broly, then I'll put him in B tier. I mean, his origin story is done right, or I guess if you can say so. I mean, Z Broly, there it is. So Z Broly's origin is way more obnoxious. I don't know. It's pretty wacky of an origin story than Super Broly, because Z Broly, the reason why he's a bad guy is that you know, I'll put him in the same tier. I'll put him in the same tier because how much of a menace he is in the movies. But again, I'll put him higher than Z Broly because of, you know, it's actually a good origin story, but he'll be like at the bottom of V tier, let's just say. Maybe at the top of C tier, but overall as a character, I think the top of C tiers makes sense. But again, the reason why Z Broly is a villain is because of Goku was crying a lot since birth, and you just couldn't forget that. Next up is Bulma, I believe, OG Bulma. If there's other variations of Bulma, then I don't know. For right now, I'm just gonna put Bulma in OG Dragon Ball because that looks like what the screenshot is from. Let me just give you a moment. Any other Bulma versions? If it's just Bulma overall, then Bulma overall, I gotta put in A tier. Maybe S tier, honestly. She's the one who helped Goku pretty much provide anything when it comes to wealth, technology, and stuff like that. Help get the Dragon Balls, help do all this kind of stuff, and pretty much was there since day one. I gotta put in S tier. Majin Buu. I don't see any Fit Buu or any other Boos. So Majin Buu overall, from the Majin Buu saga, he was a pretty cool villain. I would say he was chaotic and stuff like that, but Majin Buu in Dragon Ball Super and just modern Majin Buu, and even the mangas too, which if you haven't read, come on, you gotta keep up by now. But anyways, Majin Buu, I would say he's B tier, maybe A tier, but you know, if he doesn't sleep around, he actually, you know, pulls off stuff like that, or pulls off a lot of good stunts if he can, unless he's not tired. But in the manga, he did his thing, but I won't say he's up there in A tier, but B tier, I think it makes sense. Maybe higher than Broly, I would say. I mean, he's been around longer than Broly, so let's give Broly some time to cook, see what he can develop, and we'll see from then on. Oh, so now we're moving on to the androids, starting from 13. So for Android 13, I did rank his hairline, so if you guys want to check that out, video in the description below. Android 13 overall as a character, he is a one-off villain. I mean, he did punch Goku in the nuts, so that's one thing. But I guess I wouldn't say he's C tier. That means he would be the same level as Z Broly. But I would say D tier. Maybe lower. I'll put lower than there. I may reorganize after this whole tier list to see what is my final. Maybe some rearrangement, but this is what I think where they are right now. So Android 16, pretty much, I would say he's up there. I would say he's a solid character. I would say he's B tier, because it looks cursed, Aurel being on the top, actually. That'd be a crazy thumbnail, we'll see. Android 16, I would say he's up there. I'll put it higher than Majin Buu. He did his thing. He's like the anomaly of the universe because there was no Android 16 in Trunks' timeline. So having Android 16 in the main timeline, I don't know how the timeline works, but you know what I mean. But having Android 16 around in this timeline pretty much changed everything. So helping Gohan achieve Super Saiyan 2 and just like change the perception and stuff like that. Android 16, I mean, he's all about peace. He's not really much of a fighter. He is programmed to kill, but again, he loves nature. Android 17, I would say is an A tier or S tier. He did clutch up in the Tournament of Power. I'll put him in A tier. Android 18. Overall, I think I will put her up in A tier with her brother. I mean, she's a cool character. She's an OG. I mean, Krillin, the luckiest guy in the world. So what can I say more than that? 19, getting disrespected by Vegeta himself, but also disrespecting Goku for quite a little bit in the Android saga. But Android 19 overall as a character, I mean, there was something there, you know, absorbing energy, stuff like that, but that didn't even work out. So I'll put him in E tier. I wouldn't call him trash, like he's that trash. You know what, I'll call him, he's pretty much trash. You know what, F tier, pretty much trash. Android 21. Android 21 is a pretty new character. I mean, he's technically is canon in the main saga or the main Dragon Ball series, but it's not the Android version. It's just her human version. So we'll see. We'll see if she makes an appearance in the future Dragon Ball Super or any Dragon Ball videos or episodes. But Android 21 overall as a character, again, like I said in the the women's tier list. I don't remember her character development or how it works or her origin story pretty much, or her background story. You know the whole story. I think she's a C tier, not just on looks. Because if you want the ranks on looks, check out the women's tier list. Come on now. Oh my, Cell. It's got to be an S tier or an A tier. It does feel right to put Cell in S tier, but it does feel wrong at the same time. If you guys know what I mean, then you get it. Because like, Cell is the Dragon Ball villain. I mean, aside from Frieza, which I'm getting to us for a second, he's pretty much the main villain of everybody's favorite villain in their favorite sagas. Like, if you ask someone what their favorite saga is, most likely they're gonna say the Cell saga. I mean, Cell is that guy, I gotta say. But it does make sense if he's an A tier. I don't know. We'll put him in S tier for now. We'll see. We'll see after we're done with the whole other cast. Got a long way to go. Moving on to Chi-Chi. I gotta say, Chi-Chi, again, I think she could be an S tier potential. She is the wife of Goku, the daughter of the Ox King, the mother of Gohan, and the grandmother of Pan. I mean, she's being a reasonable mother. I mean, everyone says otherwise, that like, oh, she's being so annoying. She's trying to be a parent. She doesn't want her son to the son to lead to a normal life, just a studious life. But again, the way they presented her character is, obviously annoying. Which I will admit can be annoying at most of the times. But again, overall as a character, she's an S tier. She's an OG. She's been there since day one with Goku as well, since they were young, and yeah, still to this day. Next up is Cooler. Cooler is cool, no pun intended. Again, he would be a great candidate to become canon for the next Dragon Ball movie. I mean, again, it's another whole Frieza ordeal, but they do love their Frieza. The whole Dragon Ball community loves their Friezas, or the company. Cooler as a character overall, I guess he would be a high C tier as well. I mean, as far as we know, I mean, there is Metal Cooler, which I don't think Metal Cooler is in it. Which, if we're adding both Cooler and Metal Cooler, then I'll probably be in like a high C tier or maybe lower B tier. They didn't ruin his character, I would say. I would say that they didn't ruin his character. Broly, they did eventually. I mean, the second movie, it was getting like, okay, what's going on? It's like, it's alright. I mean, Broly's back, and then the third one was like, alright, you just killed him. You just murdered his character. So I would say he's a low B tier Cooler. Next up is Deborah. Deborah is part of Babdi's team in the Majin Buu arc. He's the demon of the underworld. He has a pretty cool origin story that could have been used for some other time. But again, they pretty much dogged on his character, turned him into a piece of candy, and just died. So, not much of a demon underworld guy. So, I gotta put him in E tier for that. I mean, he was cool. He was cool looking. He's got a cool character, not a cool character development, but he has like a cool character history, like background story. Like, he's got potential. He's got a potential, but they wasted him to become a piece of candy. I don't know. The Grand Priest. Again, overall as a character, I know he's like one of the strongest, I guess, fighters out there, or strongest beings out there, stronger than Whis, I would assume, since he's the father of them all. But overall as a character, I don't think we've seen much of him in any of the Dragon Ball Super episodes, so I'll put him in D tier. I'll put him high D tier. Maybe, yeah, I'll put him high D tier. Somewhere between Babidi there. If we see more about the Angels' history, because I don't think we know much more about their origins and stuff like that, or any other background stories, so I'll put him in D tier for now. It's not a bad placement, but it's just compared to the other characters, maybe we'll see. Android 20, or Dr. Gero. He did help create the androids, so that's one thing. So I'll put him up here in a D tier. But overall as a villain, not a good villain, but I mean, he did have like plot. He did have a plot to go against Goku ever since he was a kid, and took research. So he did his thing, created the androids. I don't know. I think D tier makes sense. He did founded the androids, did all of that. But other than that, we did get trashed on, and that's it. Never heard from him again. Duplicate Vegeta. Duplicate Vegeta. No. F tier. The Elder Kai. The Elder Kai. We never get to see him unfused. We'll never get to see his young self. But other than that, I think he gave his life to Goku. to fight against Majin Buu. I mean, that's one thing. I'll give him a D tier for that. But other than, and he also did help train Gohan to unlock Supreme, or his like ultimate form. His ultimate form. So I'll put him in like a high D or like a high D. I mean, I gotta say he's gonna be more worthy than Shilai. Shilai is the new character. She did stand out. You know, I'll put a D tier. I'll put like a high D tier for Shilai. See, now thinking about it, like you're like, oh, she's like, is she a better character than the Supreme Kai or something like that? See, that's where things starts to, you know, fall down here and there. Like, okay, how any better than Shilai is? You know, I gotta put her like in a mid D. I think mid D seems fine. Supreme Kai, the Elder Supreme Kai, he's done a lot more. Let's see, higher. I think it's good right here. I think C tiers are up, higher C tiers right there. Oh, so there it is. There's the evil Majin Buu. Okay, so there is variations. So evil Buu, I don't think he did last too long. I'll put him like a low D tier. He didn't really do. He didn't really did too much. Not did too much, but like he did absorb Majin Buu to become evil Buu or super Buu. I don't know which Buu is it, but he did that to you know, become powerful, stuff like that, and that was it. That's pretty much the last what we've seen from him. So I'll leave it as that. Shot with Farmer. Top of S tier. Come on, get Cell out of the way. Started it all. Come on now. One of the first characters we've seen in Dragon Ball Z. So how can we ever forget the OG, powerful, the one and only Shotgun Man, the Shotgun Farmer. I'm sorry. Frieza. Frieza's gotta be an S tier villain, probably higher than Cell. I'll put Cell like a lower tier villain because he did lose. Frieza's always coming back. Frieza's always coming back. You know what? It makes sense for Cell to go a high A tier because Frieza always comes back. The Dragon Ball Company, they love their Frieza. They want to make Frieza a movie. They want to make Frieza a villain again. They want to have Frieza in Dragon Ball Super Tournament arc. They want him to be in another movie with Broly. Now they decided to make him a new form, black form, and become powerful than both Goku and Vegeta. So, yeah, just for that, he's a Class S hero, or Class S villain. But other than that, moving on to Frost, I believe. Frost is, I don't know, he's a trash. I wouldn't say F tier, because he is trash. But I think it's fair to say he's trash. That was it. There's no one like Frieza than Frieza. Come on, you can't be like that. Mai in the future arc. So Mai, oh my. Don't know. I mean, she did her thing to help out Trunks. They founded like an organization to like go against Goku Black. I don't think she died. No, I don't think so. Maybe, I don't remember, but I'll say she's up there in the high D tier. Trunks. Moving on to Trunks. S tier, I would say. He's got an S tier hair. He's got an S tier hair, but character, I gotta say S tier. He's like the hero. He's like, I don't know how he does it. He just keeps on going. I mean, he's got main character energy right there. Trunks, like, I don't know how you explain it. It's like the aura is right there. Like I don't know how you explain it. You just know it that he's an S tier character. I mean, he survived. He's like one of the last survivors of the Z fighters. Pretty much one of the last strongest fighters on Earth to defend. I mean, he fought against the androids all by himself for all these years. I think he fought Deborah at one point and just prevented Majin Buu to summon. And he just, you know, went head to head against Goku Black and sealed Goku Black away, I think. I don't know how the Z sword worked. I mean, he was gone for a moment until, you know, he's back. But again, I gotta say he's an S tier. Future Gohan, his story's sad. I gotta put him S tier. Same with Trunks. Future Trunks, Future Gohan. It's like one of the best stories, but like most like sad stories to ever show and display of what happens if, you know, Goku died in the future, and that leaves off the androids to the rest of the Z fighters, which they couldn't handle, and now it was up to Gohan to raise Trunks himself. And they tried and they fought. I mean, this story's amazing. So Future Gohan, S tier. Kid Goku, or just Goku Jr., I believe around the end of GT. Not much to offer or say, but just from first off looks, I would say he's got potential. I'll put him low D tier. He's got potential. We don't know anything else from him, so that's it. Goku himself. It's got to be a tough of best tier. I mean, he is the star of the series. I'll put him right behind the Shotgun Farmer. It only makes sense. He's the star of it all. He's the one and only Goku himself. He's gone through a lot of character developments. People would say that he doesn't really have character developments, but he's got a couple character developments. Like I said before, it all started with hit in the head, you know, changes his mindset or his aggressiveness nature, and then he becomes a kind, great fighter, or just, you know, always up to something. He's always wanted to do something, always challenges himself. And then around Android 8's death, then that's where you start to change his perception about how he fights, and not letting people die on his hands anymore unless he has to. And that's what it pretty much changes. I forgot what made him change that. Before he didn't want to, but then he did. I think it was Frieza. I think Frieza was the one who made him decide that, where like he can kill if he has to, and that's what he did. And I think there's probably more after that. Probably his mindset after Gohan, when he achieved Super Saiyan 2, when he realized that that he's pretty much forcing what he wanted towards Gohan, which he never wanted to become a fighter. Like, that wasn't his top priority. He could fight, but he didn't want to, and that's pretty much what Goku just now realized way later. But again, it's got a couple of character arcs right there, here and there. He's, other than that, S tier. Goten Jr. Come on, Goten and GT, get this out of here. Give me Goten up in Dragon Ball Z, up there. I'll put him higher. I'll say he's better. I'll say up there. I'll say Goten in C tier. Grandpa Gohan, S tier as well. He made Goku the way he is. He did what he can. He helped raise Goku to become the basic level of knowledge of fighter. And yeah, he just did what he can. Hercule, D1 of gaslighting. D1 gaslighter. But he is a comedic relief, and he is a funny character. And fun fact, once I was a kid, before I knew anything about Dragon Ball, my only knowledge of Dragon Ball was Dragon Ball Z Budokai. So one of the first characters I played was Hercule, and I thought he was pretty strong because the movesets are pretty cool, like the dynamite kick or some other moves that he did right there. I was like, he's so strong. Until once I played the story mode, and that's where I realized, okay, I was wrong. But again, I'll put him B tier. Hit is cool. For that, I'll put him B tier. Hit is cool. I think that's wrong. He's cool. He's got like a time stop ability. Not much of origins and character wise himself, I think. I mean, he's a bounty hunter, #1 bounty hunter in Universe 6. So yeah, I mean, I would love to see an origin story for Hit, and you know, his missions and stuff like that, or bounty hunting missions and what he does. But other than that, I think he's a pretty cool character. B tier. I think that's the Invisible Man from the OG Dragon Ball. Again, trash. F tier. I mean, that's not red paint, that's blood. Speaking of blood, it's Master Roshi's blood. Those who don't know why, you'll know why. But anyways, Jocko, at the beginning he was okay, but in the manga, in Dragon Ball Super, and the manga's with Moro, in the Moro arc, he was pretty cool. So I would say he's probably up in high C tier. Janemba is probably one of my favorite villains, but overall, villain wise, he was pretty cool. I guess power moves or power sets, they're pretty cool. But overall, compared to other villains, I think he's got potential. He's got potential to, you know, if they want to make a, you know, return of Janemba, or they just want to bring Janemba back to canon, they could do it. So just for that, I'll put him a low C tier. I think it makes sense. Ring announcer, he's S tier. S tier character. I mean, he's been there since day one, since Goku was a kid. I mean, he's announced all his fights, and now he gets to announce his son's fights, and now he gets to announce probably his granddaughter's fights once we get to see Pan in the tournament. Jiren. Alright, Jiren is, I don't know. I mean, he's just one of the strongest villains, yeah, sure, but character-wise, it's a bit of a mystery. I would say higher than Cooler. probably around lower than Broly. I think around mid B sounds fine. I don't know. Not a lot of A's, but quite a bit of S. Mostly memes, obviously memes aside. But again, they're OGs. But I think the way it's organized, it kind of looks cursed. So there is, okay, Kid Buu. So Majin Buu was B tier. Kid Buu was a good villain too, as well. I don't know. Again, he is a. I think right here is good. I don't know. I think it's good. I think it's good right here. King Kai, good old King Kai. You know what? I'll put him B tier. Higher. No. I think it makes sense right here. Okay, I think it's good right here for King Kai. King Kai is good right here. Help train Goku. Help trained. Well, not really the Z Fighters, but it was off in like a non-canon episode. But he's pretty cool. He's pretty funny. I think that's pretty much what to say. But he's an OG as well. Krillin. Ooh, okay, that's a major character right there. Krillin, I would say he's an A tier. High. He's an OG. He's an OG bestie. He's the bestie for Goku. They're, you know, two peas in a pod. All right. I mean, you got some other iconic duos. I mean, you got Vegeta and Goku. But before that, we had Vegeta and Krillin. Come on. But just for that, I'll put him up there. I would say the same thing for Vegeta once he comes up. But right now, he is an S tier. This time from Dragon Ball's OG Dragon Ball, I'll say she was like an E tier. I mean, she's not really much of a crazy villain. She's like the Team Rocket of Dragon Ball. Pilaf, Shu, and Mai in the OG Dragon Ball. They're pretty much like the Team Rocket of Dragon Ball. So for that, E tier, nothing really much. Marin's Krillin's old girlfriend, ex. I did rank her in the women's tier list. If you want to check that one out, link in the description. But overall, as a character, I guess she's like a low E tier. Not really much. And then we got Marin. I think the difference is like one has like 1 R, the other one has 2 R's. I don't know why Krillin decided to name Marin, her daughter, the name after his ex. I don't judge, but it's pretty questionable, Krillin. But again, I would say Marin's at least a higher rank. But again, we don't really see much of her, so just for that, I'll put him again as E tier as well, just higher than the other Marin. Master Roshi, ooh, Master Roshi, another S tier character. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. You know what? Should I rank him in A tier? Because we haven't really seen much of Grandpa Gohan, but he is such an important character towards Gohan's life, or to Goku's life. I think it makes sense. So, for now, Roshi is in S tier. Moving on to Pikkon, a potential character we have not seen yet to become canon. So, I would love to see him. So far, he's got great potential. So, for that, I'll put him in C tier. Bottom of C tier. He's got potential. That's a great starting point. We'll love to see him canon. Piccolo. I'll say he's A tier. High A tier. He's an OG, part of the team. Moving on. Pilaf. Again, he's like the... I'll put up the rest of the characters in the E tier. Oh, it looks like it's OG Pilaf. I could be wrong, but again, Team Rocket team. Can't really give much of my opinion. Raditz pretty much changed everything about Dragon Ball for Goku's origins. So I would put Raditz probably in D tier. I know he's not much of a strong character himself, but he did introduce the new era of Dragon Ball, because before it was like, you know, fantasy fights and a little bit of martial arts, and now we're just going full in martial arts and just space and stuff like that. So that's pretty much what kickstarted Dragon Ball Z. So Shenron, ooh, I got Shenron A tier or S tier. A lifesaver, pretty much saved everybody. That's pretty much their loopholes when it comes to people's death, characters' death. He's there. I think it makes sense for S tier for that. So yeah, moving on to Shu, Team Rocket team. Come on, where's the Team Rocket trio? There it is. There's your Team Rocket trio up there, all in E. There, okay, so there is different variations of Buu. So we got Super Buu, and then we got Kid Buu, and then we got Majin Buu. Majin Buu's higher than Kid Buu, but Super Buu, it is a debate, like which one is stronger. It's still a debate to this day. What do you guys think? But overall, in terms of characterness, I can't really say much about it. I'll put all the Majin Buus up there. I don't know. It's hard to just compare the differences, or just like compare the differences to all the other characters to like, would it be fair? It's a lot of thought. It's gonna take a lot of thought to it. So we're just gonna move on because we are in over an hour. Super 17, GT, trash. I would say he's cool, but he looks cool, but he's pretty trash. You know, I'll put him in mid D. I don't know. Teo Pai Pai. He was a menace. I would say he did take down Blue with his tongue, so that ranks him higher. But again, he got disrespected by Goku and just trashed on, so I'll put him in like bottom of E tier. I don't know. These are like harsh rankings, but there's so many characters to rank, and then if I ranked higher than one of the other, then I have to compare the rest. So again, hope you guys understand that. Tarble, Vegeta's brother, apparently. I don't know if that's canon, but that's there. I'll put him in D tier. I think he was like a one-off character. He's just minding his own business, so I respect that. I'll put him like right there. So yeah, Tien, his OG is OG. I'll put probably like high B tier. I mean, his character arc is complete. I don't know why they bring him back every now and then, because you know, if you're not gonna bring him back, might as well, you know, do some justice to him, do justice to his character. But you know, it just becomes another side character because he is one of Goku's first rivals, like one of his biggest rivals out there. Like he was stronger than Goku at one point, imagine that, and beaten Goku. So that was something right there. He was like a bad guy, and then he realized what he is doing was wrong, and decided to, you know, switch teams, become part of the Z Fighters, and he was up there. He was up there in Rise, and now he completed his character arc. He comes full circle. He was once good, or he once bad, now good, and yeah, that was it after that. And he got disrespected in the Z Fighter, the Saiyan saga, and then the Cell saga. I mean, he did his part in Cell saga as well. I mean, I can't forget that. In the Majin Buu, again, he decided not to, you know, fight again, but then he decided to come back. And then, what? I think he did his thing against Majin Buu, but we all know that didn't last that long. So, again, enough yapping for Tien. I did make a whole video about Tien as well, so that's right there, B tier. Trunks in the main timeline that we are watching right now, I'll put Trunks along where Goten is at. So, he's cooler than Goten, so I'll put him higher. Let's see, I'll put him right there in C tier. Oob. If I'm assuming that's probably Oob in just Dragon Ball, the end of Dragon Ball Z. If that's it, then there's not really much we can see. I mean, he was a potential candidate to become one of the new strongest fighters. So I'll put him in high D tier, just for that. And I'll put low C tier, B C tier. I think it makes sense. Vegeta, there we go. There's no other Vegeta, so I'm gonna put Vegeta in S tier character as well. The rival with Goku, he's up there. Videl, I will put her. Is it just the only Videl we have? Okay, so if that's the only Videl we have, then I'll put Videl probably in the B tier. I'll probably put her like high, probably mid B tier, probably like right here, maybe lower mid. Whis has got to be an A tier with Beerus. I mean, two B's in one pod. Same goes for 17, 18, Beerus and Whis. So it makes sense. Yajirobe. We haven't seen Yajirobe again in quite a while. So he did cut off the tail against Vegeta. He did provide the Zenzu beans. Somehow he was alive during Dragon Ball Super in the future with Trunks. So just because of that, I'll put him higher. I'll put him like up in B tier, maybe lower, around up in B tier. I think it makes sense. Fits him. Yamcha, the OG, one of Goku's first ever rivals. Aside from Tien as like a villain, he's like one of the first rivals, and I think he beat Goku at one point. I think just once, but ever since that was it. I don't know. I'll put him in B tier, not lower B tier. I'm trying to think where he would rank. So he dated Bulma for a moment, and apparently they broke up because he cheated. It wasn't his character to begin with. Like, he was never a cheater, but I guess Toriyama decided, you know, make him a cheater. Why not? because let's put Bulma with Vegeta, and then give Yamcha nothing else. just give him become a cheater, and that was it. And yeah, fun fact: the voice actors for, I think the Japanese voice actors for Bulma and Yamcha were surprised of the news that Yamcha's voice actor confronted Akira. Well, not confronted like that, but you know, tell Akira like, why is he a cheater? Like, his character was never a cheater. He's always faithful. He's always, you know, just prioritize her as number one. And Akira just said like, well, because he's a cheater. That's why. Like, why is he a cheater? Because he is. So, okay, so yeah, that was pretty much it. And justice for Yamcha. I mean, he's become a meme ever since, and that was it. So I'll put Yamcha in B tier, maybe higher. I think this is good right here. Zamasu's again another villain. Would I put it up there in A tier with Goku Black? I'll put Zamasu higher, and then I'll put Goku Black. I think I'll put probably lower. Zeno. I'll put a B tier as well. He's quite a mystery. He's still a mystery. Same goes with the angels, the gods, and now Zeno himself and the guards. Everything else like up high, they're still a mystery, but they're very interesting. So I'll put him in B tier because Zeno's, you know, a funny character, I guess. So I'll put him up there in B tier, probably higher than Yamcha. But yeah, Gohan himself, no other Gohan. S tier. Gohan as an S tier. I made a video recently about Gohan, of why Gohan changed, and I explained about Gohan's character and like the reasonings and stuff like that. Just a short summary. If you guys want to check it out, again, a bunch of videos you can check out on my channel. I do mainly Dragon Ball content, and yeah, and I'm working on branching out other medias. All right, Cell Max. Oh shoot, where'd you go? Cell Max. I'll put Cell Max in, I don't know. I mean, to be fair, all the other characters have characters. They have, you know, they have characters, like a story behind them. But again, most of them are pretty trash. But Cell Max is pretty hype. But overall, I think it's fair to put Cell Max in the bottom. He was there as like the big final boss beast or whatever it is, and that was it. Both of these characters, I would rank them together the same, so I would say I'll say the bottom B tier. They were cool new characters to introduce. They had personalities and stuff like that. One of them sacrificed himself, and now the other is now part of the Z Fighters. So looking forward to see that in the future. We'll see if he does anything remarkable. Magenta, I believe. Let's see. Again, same goes with Dr. Hedo, except Magenta at least has more personality than Cell Max, so I'll put him up above. And then we have Pan, and Pan we've seen as of recently was part of the movie, and now she's a little bit older, so I think she's like 4 years old. I don't know, 5. But again, I'll put him in B tier. And that is every single character in Dragon Ball, in the Dragon Ball universe. Quite a bit of unknowns, quite a bit of F's, quite a bit of E's, a little bit of every other letter in the alphabet. But let's go over my main S tiers, and then I'll reorganize later on and then finalize it. So these are my S tiers. We got Goku. It makes sense. He's the main character. Vegeta. He's pretty much the main character's rival. Always up in there. Shotgun Farmer. If it wasn't for the meme, I would probably put him in like F tier. I don't know. But because he's a staple in the Dragon Ball community, that shotgun with the farmer, or farmer with the shotgun, he's got to be up there. Announcer. He's an OG. It makes sense. He's an S tier. He's always up there since day one with Goku. Ever since he first competed. And now he announces with Gohan when he competed. I think, yeah, when he competed. And now Gohan, or Goten. And now he's probably going to do it with Pan. We'll see in the future. But yeah, he's surprisingly still around. Frieza. Tier 1 villain. S tier villain. Makes sense. Bardock, I would say probably in the bottom. But he's up there. Trunks, again, same goes for the two future characters. Future Trunks, future Gohan. They have incredible characters. Character arcs. So and story, I mean, I recommend you guys to check it out if you guys haven't seen it. Krillin, OG best friend. Bulma, an OG homie right there as well, since day one when they first met. Goku and her first met. Chi-Chi, the wife, and again another OG. Roshi, and also Grandpa Gohan, OG as well. I'll put Gohan higher than both. I'll put Gohan like up in the top 4. Shenron, I think it makes sense. Shenron was their S tier. Makes sense. That's part of the reason why they have the show. Make the wishes, stuff like that. And I think that's pretty much it. I would want to reorganize, but I don't want to because the video is already like what, an hour 30. So yeah, this is the ultimate Dragon Ball tier list video. Alright, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below what would you rank. I know there's a lot to rank, so just let's say like the top basic S tier, A tier, just a couple names out there. Agree or disagree, this is my take. Of course, this is my opinion. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.